Chris.
Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Hi.
This is Paul. Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Paul,
nice to meet you. A lot about you.
I rarely get this moment, seeing someone so long after the operation, and seeing them looking so well. It's fantastic.
3 years ago.
Literally.
3 years ago.
Yeah, look, I've brought.
Ooh. Ooh.
So this is what I wore when you had your operation.
That's just to scare me.
Yeah, put them on.
I know you'll go out on manoeuvres with them.
Yes, I get to put
You'll
them on.
go out at night,
I
won't
get
you,
to
with
put
them?
them on.
And nobody would be safe.
Just try and... Just have a look at your fingers down there.
Whoa.
Is it really big?
It's big and it's
Do you want
beautiful.
to put... Is there anything else you want to put in front of them?
Yeah, I knew you'd go that way, Paul, yeah. So the needle looks like a javelin. Wow.
So what did you actually do to him?
For Bob, 3 bypasses is what we did.
Right.
And to do a bypass, you need lengths of tubing. So 2 of those lengths came from the leg, and the bypass is about so long.
Right.
But the 3rd one came from within the chest.
Amazing though, isn't it?
Yes. Would you be able to reenact it?
You got a big saw?
Yeah, well, we used this. It's a bit blunt, but we'll probably get through the breastbones.
I've never known what happened to me.
Just need his head here.
There you go.
So,
Right.
you're my scrub nurse.
Yes.
All right, so when I say scalpel, it comes over.
OK.
So this is how it would have been, Bob. And then the first thing we have to do is get the tubing.
Yeah.
So I have an assistant who's down at the leg,
Yeah.
who will take out the veins.
Do this leg actually.
Yep.
There you go, Governor.
Have you already cut into me?
So, yeah.
Oh, tell me about that though. How did you get in?
We have a saw, and literally we just saw all the way up.
You kidding me?
It's an air saw, it's an oscillator.
Yeah.
And it just goes like that, and you just zzz all the way up.
And then do you have to sort of prise the
do.
the rib cage open?
You do. We have a thing called a spreader, which we basically put in 2 sides, and as I winch it, it opens it. To operate on your heart, bearing in mind it's bouncing around 70 times a minute, you have to sort of bounce with it a bit.
Yeah.
Or
Are we dancing?
you take the easy way out,
Which is?
and you inject potassium into it,
Yeah.
and it goes, ugh.
And is that what you did to me?
And that's what you do. Yeah. Lift it up into the air so it's sitting almost out of your chest.
Proud of the chest, almost.
And then wearing magnifying glasses, I can stitch on the 3 bypasses.
Right. How long was it out of my
So it was
rib?
physically stopped for 32 minutes.
32 minutes.
Yep.
Get that.
How long does the whole procedure take?
You get to the
Yeah,
anaesthetic room at 8. You get into theatre for 9, and it finishes 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Right.
It's a full.
Well, that's a good
full
old
after-
morning's work. Something Bob's never had to do in his life.
I feel like I've had the op again. Feel reborn again. Thank you so much, Chris. Can I give you a hug? This is my hero.
See, Bob's narrative, Cags, when he was young, is that he was the best looking, he was the fastest runner, he was the best singer, he was the best footballer, he was the best lacrosse player.
Yeah, well,
Weren't you?
second
And
best.
the
Cags
cute-
was very good at lacrosse.
And the cutest girl as well, weren't you?
It's all true.
Is any of it true?
He was a good footballer.
I know he was a pretty good footballer, yeah.
Good footballer, yeah.
Yeah.
A good sliding tackle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He come
Oh, that
crunching-
tackle was amazing, wasn't it?
Could go in and get the ball, come out with it.
Could he?
And still on his feet.
Oh.
And then he
you
was
know-
away.
It used to be Peter Beardsley tackle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was pretty fast, you know, Cags.
You were fast, yeah.
Cags, please, undermine him. Don't build up the myth.
That was only the football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think cross country was your thing, was it? No.
No, we used to nick off halfway, didn't we? Go to my mum's house. Yeah.
Yeah, and then carry
Well,
on.
the first 20 yards he was good.
He was good over a short lot of pike.
Yeah.
Short distances, maybe.
Yeah, short distance,
Yeah.
because he's carrying a bit, isn't he?
Could never.
So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? He could never sustain.
Yeah, he
A lung bursting run is out of the question, yeah?
Have
You
you
got a
bought
picture?
some old...
Oh.
As we are. Like
So how old are we then?
I think we're about
16?
You've gone a bit punky there, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Bob looks like a sort of camp cat. And Cags, oh, you
A bit
remind...
Clarkson, a bit Hugh Laurie?
It's a bit of... It's like a cross between Clarkson and Laurie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember every Saturday we'd go and try on large items of clothing,
Yeah.
take photographs.
Large items of
Yeah,
clothing.
just anything large, a big glove, a big jacket.
That's right. We used to find the biggest garment and put it on.
I think that's a more new romantic phase.
That must be 80s, mustn't it?
You look sort of quite interesting and gothic there. Staring in the middle distance, practising for your male modelling career later in life, isn't it?
Oh, good days. Good days.
The Lee, up here and in certain places, is a chalk stream.
Yeah?
Yeah. And, you know, there aren't many of those in the world. And do you know one of the guardians of our chalk streams? He's an unlikely person. Feargal Sharkey, so it is, now.
Oh, I for Undertones.
Yes. And he's very hot on conservation.
What, like he's an activist?
He's an activist. And I got in touch with him, and we're going to meet him.
Feargal Sharkey on the
Feargal
riverbank.
Sharkey on the bank.
Well, I look forward to that.
It'll be so difficult not to sing Teenage Kicks or My Perfect Cousin, won't it?
Yeah.
Feargal, you're a sort of unlikely champion of the chalk stream, aren't you?
Well, that's incredibly gracious of you to say. Chalk streams have the most pristine water in the planet. It spends anything from 6 months to 60 years filtering through chalk.
Yeah.
So you suddenly have this phenomenally clean, pristine water. And we are treating them really, really badly.
Yeah.
We're simply taking all the water out of them. And secondly, believe it or not, dumping raw sewage into them on a monotonously regular basis.
You can dump raw sewage into chalk streams.
Last year we dumped 39 million tonnes of sewage into the River Thames alone.
Just directly in.
Yeah. I think it's probably at that stage now where, you know what, mate, if we don't do something, we're going to lose them, and we're going to lose them in the next 3 or 4 years, if not sooner.
Understood.
Being a lippy Irishman,
No, surely not.
and clearly having some practice in standing behind a microphone and being very loud, I suddenly thought, well, Feargal, you know what? If anybody cares that you still stood on the stage and sang and is prepared to listen for 2 minutes, well, you better get up and start saying something and kicking up a fuss.
I'm glad someone's taken the battle, Feargal.
Yeah. Do you know, we have a shared sort of history in a way, though, because I actually auditioned for a band called That Petrol Emotion.
Oh, get out of here! To explain this one, Bob, when I left the Undertones, a couple of the guys set up this band called That Petrol Emotion.
Yeah.
So clearly didn't get up.
I didn't pass the audition.
Go on,
to be honest, Feargal, I went in and I was slightly enhanced.
Every time.
If you know what I mean.
Down the street. Go on.
Another girl in the neighborhood. I wish she's mine. She looks so good. I wanna hold her tight. Get teenage kicks right through the night. All right,
all right.
You can use really whatever you'd like. I'll give you a palette each.
Thank you. At some point, I'd like to get the black out, if that's all right, Ellis.
Yeah. Black! Put that on your palette.
What colour are you going for
or
there,
put
Bob?
it straight on.
Nice, isn't it?
I'm quite a messy worker and quite expressive and gestural.
So am I, Ellis.
So-
Wild and free we are,
Wild
aren't
and
we?
free.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I'm doing that.
He's going straight in with the abstract though.
Yeah,
Oh, I like that.
So I think you should just do something.
I will do.
That's looking good.
It's looking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to influence you, Alice.
You've got a very different style. Oh, it's all right.
I'm not happy with this. Very happy with this so far.
It can turn quite quickly.
Yeah, it's amazing,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, you can be really liking something and then you do one thing that could be annoying.
Can I have some of that green?
I didn't want you to have it, but yes, you can.
I love it though, because some people are very guarded and they're always scared to put something down on the paper, but you've really went for it.
Yeah.
So do you think you're both finished?
I'm calling it an unforgettable painting
Yeah.
that's almost like a picture.
Okay, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oh, it's very colourful, actually. It's not as abstract, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I love that you've already signed it. You've
Oh,
already put your
I think there'll be
mark on.
buyers out there, Paul.
Good to I'll show
it's
you
great.
mine now, Ellis.
Wow. I mean, the works that you both have created are the exact opposite, aren't they?
Come on. It's humanity crying out, and there's redemption in there. That's what it's called, redemption.
Are you going to try and sell that one as well?
I don't know. I would only be for charity.
Oh, yeah, OK.
Well, I think it's time for judgment.
Well, I really like Bob's colour use. There's a lot of energy in the movement of the sea there, but I think I would have to say Paul's. Sorry, Bob. He's done. He's off. He's away.
Thank you, Ellis.
That's OK.
It's just childish.
I still really like it.
Who's childish round here?
Thank you so much, Az. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so did I. I absolutely loved it, actually.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Paul, we've got a resource here. What would you like to ask?
Well, what I'd like to ask you about, Anand, is insomnia. It is a big issue for people, isn't it? And I don't suffer unduly with it.
Sleep's an incredibly important thing for all of us. Part of it is mental, because you're filing your memories. You're doing lots of processes about organising thought and what's gone on with the day and basically decoding all of that. And if you don't sleep, you don't move short-term memory very well into longer-term memory.
Oh.
So actually it can be very disruptive. Have you done any mindfulness before you go to bed or any talking therapy specifically for insomnia?
No, as I say, I've never really looked into it at all. It's difficult to grasp mindfulness. It sounds like a simple concept.
So mindfulness to me is a space where I am using my body's normal properties, like breathing, for example, to distract me from my circular thoughts. And it's been proven to not only help sleep, but reduce stress. I mean, and the mental health, I think, in men is a particularly important problem.
Of course, we've been discussing that. I mean, it feels like the received wisdom is that men won't talk about their emotions and so on. What's your take on that? Is that true?
Men often perceive talking about their emotions as some form of weakness, particularly in themselves. It's not just about, it's about other people thinking they're weak, but also them thinking, I should be able to get through this. Because being a man is all about ignoring the challenges of life and just pushing through.
Could I ask, if I'm a fella knocking on, an old-fashioned sort of fella who thinks I might have depression, right? I'm worried about going down to the doctors. Could you recommend a good opening sentence? What's a good way to bring that subject up?
I'd probably just be completely honest. I've not wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
But I feel really low.
That's nice. Thank you for that. And the other thing is there any science behind this sort of idea that if you talk about your depression or you talk about your worries, that somehow, you know, like that's curative? Does it release dopamines or something?
So dopamine is actually for the search, the hunt. Dopamine is the pleasure you get from anticipating something that may happen.
Right.
The pleasure that you get is so fishing is about the pleasure of the hunt.
Right.
But you're doing it. So I mean, forgive me for taking this back slightly, but you were very sort of down after your heart bypass.
I was. That's true.
Is that right?
It's
So you're
true,
down after your heart bypass, and you decided that actually let's go fishing.
For Bob, it was such an invasive procedure and probably very shocking, wasn't it? From naught to bypass in 3 or 4 days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we'd been threatening to go fishing for years and never got round to it. Thought, better do it quick before one of us dies.
What you demonstrated was an act of care. That was an act of nurture. So men prefer to have experiential time. So I have to be doing something with you, rather than we're just going to go for a chat. Because I think some men find it quite difficult to have that chat about their feelings or about what's going on with their lives. But you can stand by a beautiful river, and you can spend time together and chat and have that emotional response and benefit.
We do seem to need
that.
to have something to hang it on, don't we?
Yeah.
You know,
Football or whatever it is that you
some people play golf.
I think some people feel that connecting to other people is a weak or wasteful period of time. I think it's actually incredibly healthy, and it's incredibly kind of other people to make themselves known to you if you're feeling low. When you're depressed, your body thinks you're ill, so it wants to curl you up under a blanket. But actually what you really do need to do is to exercise, to get out, to see people, to socialise, to be part of something larger than yourself, partly because it distracts you, but also partly because our bodies really relish that.
Paul, we've written this song especially for you, and you partly wrote it too. You can play a pretty song to Bob so gently. You can write a song that's pretty much ignored. But picking up that plectrum's almost worth it, to see your name on George and Dragon's board. You can be a backroom singer in a tiny little pub. You can be a wedding singer for a beer and some grub. Fill up Wembley Stadium with the whole world at your feet, or simply sung this little song for me. So I'm not good enough for you. I'm not good enough for you. I'm not good enough for me. I'm not good enough for me. You can't be further from the truth. You can't be further from the truth. Get that guitar back on your knee. You can busk around Europe just for euros, but your hat's filled with lira and with francs. You'd go bottom of the bill, or if supporting band is ill, play warm up with so very little thanks. But there's something worth preserving, said the mayfly to the swan. The swan replied, that's beautiful, for in the morning you'll be gone. Well, you have to count the reasons, we have to carry on. It's not just where we're heading, it's where we're from. So I'm not good enough for you. I'm not good enough for you. I'm not good enough for me. I'm not good enough for me. You can't be further from the truth. You can't be further from the truth. Get that guitar back on your knee.
Whoa. God, blimey. Hey. Thank you, guys. What a treat. Wow. Bob, you don't seem very happy. What's the matter?
Huh?
You seem a bit down.
Yeah, I'm a bit down actually. Yeah.
What about if they liked or subscribed to Bob and Paul's YouTube channel? Would that cheer you up a bit?
Yeah, that would help a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then. See if you can cheer Bob up a little bit by liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
I might even get out of bed.